Podcast 57, the Stone Roadie Show, action. Hey there, looky here. This is your host, Craig Reed of the Stone Roadie Show. And this is my co-host, Mr. Griff Martin. Take it away, Griff.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? All you Stone Roadie Show fans. We got special guests again today. We got Brandon Miller and ZACK Lane, and kind of was going to joke around a little bit, but look at the uncanny resemblance here with that background that Craig has with Ronnie and Gary looking in the window there, and then you got Brandon Miller with the Ronnie Van Zant hat on, and then you got ZACK Lane with the Gary Rossington glasses. I joke with ZACK a little bit and say I think that his daddy was out of town there about the time ZACK came around, because he does look like Gary a little bit. But yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast, you guys. And we wanted to get these guys on here because we wanted them to talk a little bit about their trip in Nashville, and had a recording session, and their little surprise that they want to announce about some things that they did. And then we got Brandon, who's got some things that he wants to talk about his guitar build and the monument progress with the monument there that he's going to do with that carving of Ronnie. So to start off with, when did you guys finish up? Brandon, we'll start with you. When did you guys finish up in Nashville with your project?
I want to say, was about the third week of January?
I believe so. That's something like that.
January, because I got there that Monday, and then ZACK come in, I think, what's Tuesday or Wednesday?
It was, I came in and recorded, I think. See, I came in to Nashville on Wednesday, and we recorded Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday, yeah. And
did you guys get accomplished there what you wanted to do? Everything turn out exactly the way you wanted it?
Yeah, after Sarah had a lot of long damn hours. Yeah. It was a hell of a process to try to recapture what me and ZACK did. We also had the help of Mr. Jack Gavin from the Charlie Daniels band. He was the drummer for Charlie Daniels the last 14 years until Charlie passed. We got him on drums for the whole record, including the special track that me and ZACK did. And we got Mr. Dave Fowler from the Artimus Pile Band and Dolly Parton, the bass player. He's our co-producer and also played bass on all the tracks, including the special one. And then we got Mr. Dane Bryant, who played keys on the special track and the entire record as a whole. He played keyboards for Clint Black from 1989 to 2009. And then he's played with countless big-time superstars since then. And then we got very blessed to get Mr. Kent Wells, who's been the longtime producer for Dolly Parton, I want to say for the last 40 years, if I remember right. Or he's been with her for 40 years, but he's been producing her for many years. And but he was our producer on this record, and we were very fortunate to have him. And because, as a matter of fact, the day before ZACK showed up, Kent was over in California hanging out with Steve Perry of Journey. So,
oh, wow.
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, who this guy works with hands-on directly in person. I didn't know that. He's so humble about it. He don't go around. He's probably the most humble, sweetest guy ever. He does not boast about who he's worked with. So having him as our producer was a blessing, to say the very least.
Well, tell him the next time that he sees Steve Perry, tell him Blaze Baby said hi. That's Craig's nickname, Blaze Baby. That
Blaze.
Steve Perry gave him. But
Steve
hey,
used to call me Blaze Baby.
Back to the Nashville thing. I know the last time that you guys were on the podcast, you kind of had a down low thing going on. You didn't want to talk too much about what has changed now that you can share with us about what you guys did there? Anything?
Well, in about 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, the album will be out. And we're going to drop this special track along with one of the original songs as well, because the album features 5 originals and 2 covers. But I'm gonna let Zach share what me and him created, let him start it, and I'll give him the honors of relaying what me and him have recreated.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, take it away, Zach.
Basically, me and him both have worked countless hours working on this one thing. And, you know, when I was talking to you guys on the podcast, when was that? Like, I don't know, last month sometime. It was around the first of the month or something. Maybe, I can't remember when I was on last, but my mic falling? Anyways, my fingers were absolutely shot. Like when I was on the podcast with you guys, I could barely like get through essentially anything other than what I was playing because of what how much work we put into this and how much work I put into it. But so what we did is we recreated Live at the Fox, Freebird, from One More from the Road. We recreated that. We're not trying to rewrite it, as I've heard some people say, rewrite it or try to redo it or anything like that. We just recreated it as a tribute to one of the greatest bands of all time, one of our favorite bands, and you know, millions of other people's favorite band. And it honestly, it, besides the studio version, of course, it has its own, you know, sort of buzz. The Live from the Fox is probably the best sounding Freebird, and it competed with Stairway to Heaven for weeks, you know, on the charts. So we recreated that. We put a lot of work into it. We you know, like I said, countless hours of trying to recreate this. And you know, the drums, from the drums to the keyboard, to the bass, you know, everything is pretty much, you know, spot on. And I had the pleasure of working on Steve Gaines' parts. And actually I'm doing Gary's parts too. It's not completely done yet, but I'm going to be doing Gary's slide parts as well. And I did some rhythm in there as well. But I had the absolute honor of doing Steve Gaines' parts, and it was a pleasure, but it was a pretty big challenge, obviously, because my fingers were shot.
What do we expect to hear? Is it going to be note for note, or is it going to be in your own version, or what is the expectation on that?
Note for note.
Note for note.
Note for note.
What about the singing part? Who do we have with that? You're
Brandon.
doing the singing?
Brandon.
So
Yeah.
do you sound pretty good like a Ronnie Van Zan, or what do you think you sound like there, Brandon? We're on edge of our seat, man.
The best way for me to describe recreating Ronnie's vocals was I literally was singing it sentence or line by line. I would have the particular line in every verse and chorus played back to me 3 times, and I would practice it in my head, trying to get the vocals just right, you know, to have exactly how Ronnie did it, as close as absolutely necessary. There's never going to be another Ronnie Van Zant. It's never going to happen. You know, I tried my best to honor what he did on that particular performance, which he sang it pretty much the same every time. But on that particular performance, you know, he added a couple little nuances here and there, you know, just little small stuff that mostly singers would pay attention to. And I tried to capture that as absolutely close as possible. I mean, I was in, let me put it this way. I was in the booth for 5 hours just to get his vocals as spot on as absolutely possible. And I couldn't have done it without the help of Mr. Kent Wells. So Ronnie's vocals are as absolute close to the original live recording as possible. So there's that as far as Ronnie's vocals go.
So when you guys did the recording and everything, and you went back and listened to it, I imagine, once you hear it in the studio and everything, and then there's probably a little tweaking going on until you got it the best you could. How long did that take?
As far as I go, I played the entire solo, Alan's lead main solo. I done it all in one take. I wanted it to have a live feel. I didn't want to play a section, stop, and then continue. Like, I wanted it to have a live feel. And I have all this on video, and I have it on video for ZACK playing Steve Gaines parts as well. So no one can say that we did not play the whole solo live. We played it straight through without stopping. And, so I wanted it to have that genuine live feel as possible. But like Zach said, I mean, me and him sitting at our home practicing these solos for hundreds of hours would be an understatement. Because naturally we don't have 4 or 5 days to spend in the studio on one song. So we went in there locked and loaded, and we blew it out as best as we possibly could. And what came out was honestly better than what I thought. And to give kudos to Zach here, you can't hear Steve Gaines' solo parts very well on the live recording up until almost right after Alan does his jump. You can hear him better, but he was able to isolate a lot of his solo work on that live performance, and the way that he captured it. And I told him when I called him about this, I said, look, when you do this, I was like, Karina Gaines is a good friend of mine. She's sweet as she can be. I was like, Craig, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Live at the Fox like one of the first 5 to 10 shows that Steve done with the band?
God, my God, that was you caught me off guard there. Yeah, see, I'm a little weird here. I got to look forward. I messed up my situation here, and their monitor is actually up there. So I can't see them or what's going on. I'm kind of a little weird here, but let me see. Steve, it was, God, it's hard to remember now how long.
From what I've studied about the time they done Live at the Fox, he had only been with the band about a month, actually signed on playing with them full time. So from what I'm understanding, he had only, this was, Live from the Fox was kind of his, oh shit, I just joined this band. Now we're doing a live record, oh, damn, and what he done on that particular live version to me was probably the most complex lead parts that he had played in my personal opinion. So, and I'm like, Zach's going to be the guy to do this, because I've been following him for about 3 years now. And we hit it off real well. And when I reached out to him about it, I was like, it's going to be one hell of a task, because, Karina Gaines is a personal friend of mine. And I said, I really want to honor her father's legacy. And I want it to be done right. So if she does choose to listen to this, and she knows the original recording, she'll be like, wow, these kids really done my father's work justice, and also I did it. I wanted to do it for the Skynyrd Nation, because I know how picky the Skynyrd Nation is. They're brutal when it comes to covering Skynyrd songs. It's got to be right, and if it's not right, they'll cut your throat, So I told Zach, I was like, I've got to get my parts right. You got to get yours right. And so we got as absolutely close as it could possibly be, to say the least.
Those other musicians that worked with you, the guys that you mentioned, they're pretty professional. Were they all at the studio at the same time, or were they just doing tracks separate?
The first day that I was there, we cut all the basic tracks. We done the bass, drums, and keys. We done all 3 of those in one day. We were in the studio for right at 14 hours. It was a gruel.
So all of the musicians were there?
Yes.
You guys were all, so what were their take on when they played back and heard everything you did? Were they pretty impressed with it?
Yeah. Jack and Dave and Dane, all 3 of them were like, they were very happy with what they heard. and then once we got the guitar tracks on it, once we got Steve and Alan's parts on there, that was just kind of the icing on the cake. And then Zach is fixing to cut Gary's slide parts, for the first half of the song. So that's going to be the cherry on top, and Dane really nailed Billy's piano parts because, he always starts the intro different live versus the record. It had featured an organ and a little bit of keys. He has that beautiful intro and then the beautiful intro in the middle, before going back into the next verse. And Dane actually recorded, he went home and worked on it, and he wound up recording, if I'm not mistaken, Greg could probably verify this. I want to say that Billy's grand piano he used was a 1923 or 29 Steinway, a full size, or like a baby grand. It was one of them.
It was a baby grand. Billy Steinway's a baby grand. I can't remember. It seems like 28.
Okay, yeah, somewhere along in there. Dane has a 1929 Steinway, and that's what he used to record Billy's parts. So, like I said, we nerded out on this big time. I mean, down to we even used 1975 PV Mace amplifiers, the same ones that Skynyrd used. I used the Alan Collins 64 Firebird 3 back here that I built. I used it to record the solo, and and Zach used a Les Paul just like Steve. I mean,
let me talk a little bit about that Les Paul too while we're on this. That guitar, from what I've read, Steve had a coil splitter in his tone knob. So every time he would pull that up, he got that kind of Strat sound, right? Just so happens that my guitar has that exact same thing, and I use that on the record just like Steve would have live. So, we really, really caught the magic of it, I believe. If nobody else if there's going to be, of course, those guys that are like, oh, it's not, perfect, it's not, well, that's fine, but we still caught the magic of the live performance, and we even put live sounds at the beginning of the song, just like the record, so there's it's a very live feel, it's a live feel. Everything was done pretty much in one take. I done mine in one take, so I had to punch in a couple of the rhythm parts, but other than that, solo wise, all one take. So
where did you guys get those PV Mace guitar, those vintage amps, the amplifiers?
I found them in Arizona, and a friend of a guy that I deal with, he finds them occasionally, and then he gets them going, and then I bought them, and then I brought them with me there because I wanted to use those amps particularly on this track.
Wow, that's pretty crazy, man. That's kind of hard to do right there,
Yeah, it was hard to find them, especially the correct, because you got two different maces. The early ones, like Skynyrd, had the four inputs were straight across, and then the later models you had two stacked on top of each other, inputs, and then two right next to them. But the ones that Alan used, and like Steve and Gary would have used, they were the 75, 76 models that all inputs were straight across. There was four of them where you can plug in. And, so we used those amplifiers. We used all the correct Gibson guitars, the Firebirds, the Les Pauls, everything. So like I said, the best way to put it is we nerded out. We went extreme nerd on this to get it correct. Because here was my thing. It's like when I first talked to Zach about doing this, I said, look, I've tore the internet apart internationally and nationally. No one has ever recreated the Live at the Fox version of Freebird. It's never been done, ever. There's full of studio covers that have been done. Molly Hatchet done one, stuff like that. But no one has never tried to recreate Live at the Fox. And funny, Chad Reed, Craig's son, he called me the other day and told me, he's like, man, he said, y'all are trampling on a holy ground, dude. This is uncharted territory, so y'all better do it justice. And I said, well, I said, I can just about promise you that, you know, for a 31-year-old and a 20-year-old to do what me and Zach have done, I mean, you really cannot, I don't think you can honestly complain, because how many people do you know our age would even think about doing this? Nobody. You know, it's up to guys like Zach to keep the legacy of that style of rock and roll and Southern rock and Fly the Flag for Ronnie and the boys. It's me and him are the guys that want to do it. You know, so anybody that would criticize what me and him done, I think would be kind of shitty. You know, but I really don't think there's any room for criticism, considering the amount of the length that me and Zach went to get everything 100% correct as absolutely possible.
So the only thing that you have left now is Zach has to go back in the studio and do some of Gary's parts, the slide parts. Is that what it is?
Parts of it, which he'll use this SG right here. You know, it'll be correct. And you know, we're gonna have him do Gary's parts, which he's an amazing slide player. You know, and he'll, as y'all see, he looks just like Gary. You know, so it's kind of crazy.
Craig can help you set up with that, the secret wire, and you know about that, right, Zach?
I actually have one.
Oh wow. This might be I don't know, this could piss Gary off.
That Gary actually uses a piece of 12 gauge green wire, the solid core.
Ground wire. Yeah, like a ground wire.
I'll send you a piece.
Okay.
There you go. Craig will send you a piece, and it'll be, and Craig even has some slides, you know, that are probably pretty close to exactly what Gary used. I don't know. Maybe you can talk him into sending you one of those too.
Yeah.
And there were some of them that were on the plane. They were actually in a box.
Actually Gary's, yeah.
And they were on the plane, and oh my God, how cool would that be, right?
That would be amazing.
So Brandon and Zach, when do we expect, first off, how are you going to put this music out there where we can hear it, and when do we expect to hear it?
More than likely around the 1st of March, probably the first week of March, maybe earlier. It just kind of depends when the masters come back. I'm going to have everything uploaded on iTunes, Apple Music, you know, all the music downloadable streaming platforms. Everything will be there. I'll probably upload. We plan on possibly doing like a memorial music video to this song. You know, featuring the videos of me and Zach playing guitars, you know, playing the songs, but then putting side by sides of like Alan, and then, you know, having Gary maybe on his slide parts, and then Alan next to me, you know, and then Steve Gaines next to him. That's kind of a tribute video for us younger guys to, you know, the original members of the band, to kind of, you know, because we want to introduce this music to the people that are our age and younger. You know, because there's millions of them that have never even heard of Lynyrd Skynyrd, much less Freebird, or never even heard guitar playing like this. You know, so we kind of blasted all over social media to try to bring in a whole nother set of generations, you know, to introduce them to this music.
Well, whenever you guys get, you know, I know how things sometimes they get delayed or whatever, but whenever you guys get some solid information, we'll get you back on. We'll have you back on so you can kind of spread the word as to exactly how people can hear it, when they can hear it. And are you going to have any video of you guys while you were in the studio? Is there any video footage of you guys while you were there? That'd be cool to see too.
Yeah, we both have videos of us playing both of our parts on Freebird. You know, the one take cuts. I mean, we done it all in one take, like straight through. There was no cut and edit, nothing. You know, but so we decided to do it that way, and it come out fantastic. You know, because we both did our homework so extreme. So yeah, we do have video. I have video of me doing Alan's guitar solo, and he has video of him doing Steve Gaines solo, and we'll make sure we have video of him doing Alec Gary slide parts and so on and so forth, and me doing Ronnie's vocals.
Yeah, we might want to have you back after you put all this stuff out for that part. But
sure.
So did you guys do anything else other than Freebird? What else did you do while you were there?
Well, we recorded 5 original songs. ZACK is featured. Was it 1 or 2 of them? It's 2 of them, man. Okay, one of them. Because I was right after we finished Freebird, I started on one of my originals. And the first solo in there, I'm like, hell, Zach, you can improvise, right? He's like, yeah. I said, well, hell, go get in the booth, go rip a solo. So he's featured on one of my tracks called Crossroads, which I'm going to release Crossroads. It's actually kind of ironic, and this was not intentional. I swear to God, it was not intentional. I wrote this song called Crossroads, and it just so happened, of course, that on One More from the Road, you got Crossroads by Cream, the Skynyrd version, and then Freebird. So it's kind of, it was not intentional. I swear to God it wasn't. But it was ironic how I'm going to release Crossroads that features ZACK on it and Freebird at the same time. I'm going to drop both of those singles together. So.
And so how many songs do you have altogether total? That's going to be
5 originals and 2 covers.
Gotcha. The other thing too is you guys are now joined together and you have a band, right? Is that right?
Yes. Slickson Revolver.
What's the name of it again?
Yeah. Slickson Revolver.
That's all
right. When are you guys going to go on the road with this album that you're going to have? And is that the plan?
We plan to, yes. We're hoping to start touring sometime around summer is the goal. We're in the process of going through legal situations, going through management processes. I mean, it's a big deal in the original, world, with labels and management and stuff like that. So we're in the process of trying to get all that solidified, and hopefully we can start touring this record sometime around summertime is our goal.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people right now that are listening to this podcast and they're thinking in their mind, how did you guys get away with it doing the music legally? Is there something you can tell us about that as far as what you did and legally being able to do it, maybe monetarily compensations over it and stuff like that? What's the detail on that?
I had to purchase a what do you call it? I had to purchase the copyright. I'm trying to remember the darn name of it. It's a licensing. The copyright licensing. I had to purchase that to give me the legal permission to record this song. And then once I get it recorded and I distribute it, I have to go through a particular company that will handle all the royalties and stuff. So as the song sells, I believe Judy owns Ronnie's estate, and I don't know who owns Alan's for sure. But whoever is licensed, whoever wrote that song, which I know it's Ronnie and Alan, whoever owns their estates will get the most of the royalties off of it. But I didn't do this for the money. It was strictly as my honor and love for my honor, for in honor of Ronnie Allen, and give them the respect that I felt that they deserved on my behalf. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And so I wanted to re-record this song as tribute to them. And it was not about the money for me. I could care less about that. I just simply wanted to honor them and Steve Gaines, the entire band. And but as the song sells, all the royalty stuff will be handled by the distribution company that will be distributing the song. They handle all that stuff. So.
Well, maybe that'll prime the pump for your original songs and your original music that you're doing. People hear that, and it'll kind of get you on the board, and, you know, people will start listening to the other things that you got going. And then, you know, before you know it, you'll be rock stars, man, you know?
I mean, you know, if it draws attention to the original stuff, that would definitely be cool, because I mean, if people that love Southern rock or the LA hard rock scene, you know, they're going to love the original material. There is guitar out the ass, you know, hard hitting vocals, you know, Jack Gavin's kicking ass on drums. I mean, it's, I think my original stuff is something that's different that you haven't heard, probably in a long time, if ever. You know, so I'm looking forward to people hearing my original stuff to see what they think about it. Because there's something for everybody in there. And you know, but yeah, I mean, if Freebird, you know, draws attention to it, great, you know, but that was definitely not the reason why. You know, but I do hope that it will draw in some younger people, you know, to check out the original material and also get involved with Skynyrd, you know, because I don't know how much longer the current lineup will be staying on the road. You know, but like I said, I kind of feel it's mine and ZACK and us younger guys that love that style of music to kind of fly the flag for it. So that's what we're going to try to do.
Well, you must probably already have in mind when you start touring, where do you think you're going to be? Like, what cities, what major cities are we thinking about hitting as far as, you know, when you kick your tour off?
Well, I got a phone call the other day. It looks like we're going to be doing a few shows in Ohio this year. So maybe Uncle Craig can come out and see me.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he might even set up.
Oh, I'll definitely be at a show if you're nearby me. Yeah. I'm in Akron, in between Akron and Canton.
Okay. You know, but I got a call yesterday that there's a few big musical events that are looking to possibly bring us up sometime around June or July, you know, right around summer. So I want to say probably our first couple of shows will probably be in Ohio, you know, but I'm open for, you know, to get booked. You know, I would love to do some shows in Jacksonville, Birmingham, you know, Tennessee, you know, I mean, anywhere, Texas. I mean, if there's anywhere that if anybody that hears our original stuff and they love what they hear, you know, you can contact me directly. I'm easy to access, you know. So yeah, I'm hoping that with Freebird and Crossroads, the original song, it will really cause a big buzz in the rock and roll world, and we'll start getting phone calls like, hey, y'all come play. So
I'm sure that the Stone Roadie podcast listeners are really going to be checking you guys out, man, whenever this this music breaks loose. Because like you said, nobody's done this. So, you know, it's going to be really interesting. And just like you said, the Skynyrd Nation, there's going to be some people really picking at it, you know. I know you've already taken a lot of flack off of that guitar you're building, and not so much how you're building it, but the fact that people thinking that the money's not going to the right place. And God bless you, Brandon. I know you're trying to do the right thing, man. And sometimes trying to do the right thing, no good deed goes unpunished when it goes to the Lynyrd Skynyrd people. Gene Odom told me at one time, he said, Lynyrd Skynyrd fans are some of the meanest, cheapest sons of bitches out there. You know, because he tries to make a buck off of a T-shirt and they try to Jew him out of it, you know. But speaking of that, I know you went on Facebook and you were talking a little bit about some complications that you had with people as far as raising money for the guitar build that you're doing, and the monument, and what you're doing with the money as far as going towards the carving. For people that have not or don't know about it or haven't kept up with it, Brandon, give us a little idea what it is you're doing again, so people know exactly what's going on with that guitar build, and the monument and what you're trying to do for the monument.
Okay. Well, basically what I'm doing is I'm having a big mural built that's identical. It's to be the same size stone and design of stone. That's what's already at the at the monument out there in Gillsburg. It'll feature a big photograph of Ronnie. I've submitted 5 different ones to the company that'll be manufacturing it. I'm waiting on them to let me know which one will work best, and then they will send me some examples of what it could look like, and then I will show those publicly. And and then but as far as the money donations go to this, everything is being handled by me and through me. There's no third parties, and the goal is I'm trying to raise $50,000 to build this monument, and that's covering the monument, that's covering shipment from Jacksonville to Gillsburg, Mississippi. We got to build the proper foundation, engineer 2 specs. We got to have that built, and then we got to bring a crane company in to pick this massive damn thing up and set it. So it's a high dollar process. But as far as the guitar goes, I built the guitar out of my own money, my own time, my own labor. So that's already been covered. The guitar is the Alan Collins 58 Explorer tribute that my company builds. I donated that as just a gesture, as a thank you, for every person that donates $100. Every $100 that you donate, you will get a ticket to win this guitar. And sorry, my damn phone's going crazy. And but you'll get a ticket to win this guitar for every $100 you donate. And the money that you donate is not for the guitar. I've had that question asked or told to me 1,000 times. No, the money you donate is strictly for the mural. The guitar is already bought and paid for. That's just a thank you for a chance to win the guitar if your name is drawn, once we raise all the funds. That's what it's for. And the drawing is going to be on August 18th, if I remember. But I believe if I remember right, I've got 10,000 things going on, so y'all forgive me. But I want to say, if I remember right, I said it at August 18th. I'm gonna do the drawing for the guitar, and whoever wins, you have an option. You can go ahead and get it, or if you want to wait till October 20th, you can come to the monument in Gillsburg, and you can meet me and Craig and a bunch of the survivors, the rescuers, everybody that shows up. So I think that might be worth the wait for a few weeks to actually get it. So you can meet all of us and get pictures with it, and so on and so forth with everybody.
Is the guitar already, Brandon, is the guitar already finished? You've already finished it, haven't you?
Yep. It's been done for months.
So, yeah, because I remember you were talking, some people were like, oh, well, you got to have that money to buy the guitar. No, he's finished with the guitar. Do you have it available to look at, or is it you got it
downstairs? I can go get it, but it's downstairs. So
yeah, we might want to see that.
Right. Y'all just hang on a second.
Yeah,
I would like to say something about the guitar build and the monument itself. Is as soon as I seen that he posted, as soon as I seen the Facebook post about the monument and stuff, I had to donate and give my because it was such a good thing that I wanted to see happen for Ronnie, and so I had to, it was something I had to do. And for everybody that's like that, he needs money for the guitar, it's not true at all. And plus, not only that, but you're getting probably, I would say, at least a $4,000 guitar for $100. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I would put I'd put like a $10,000 price on that guitar. Yeah, the ones that Gibson were building, I wouldn't consider as good a build as the one Brandon did. And yeah, they're going for 10.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'd say this guitar is worth at least 10. And Allen's, the original Allen's, it's that guitar is over $1 million.
Oh yeah, easily, yeah, easily.
Oh, here comes a guitar right there. Wow,
there it is.
That's sweet. That's sweet. That looks great, Brandon. Tell us a little bit about that guitar what makes it different than, let's just say, the guitar like that you just buy stock?
Well, the difference is, it's the particular shade of Carina that set Alan's apart. Because they only made 14 Carina Explorers in '58, and Alan bought one of those for $4,000. And but his particular shade of Carina was more almost like a banana yellow, rather than that natural brownish orange color like a lot of them were. And when I found this one, you really got to look hard to find this particular finish. You really got to look hard to find it. So
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful guitar. I love the wood grain in it. It's just, I wouldn't know the difference if you told me it was made by Gibson. If you told me that was made by Gibson, I'd believe it 110%.
Yeah, and that tremolo is a little different than a stock guitar. What's the help us understand the electronics, the pickups and things like that you did to it to kind of tweak it to give it that Alan Collins sound?
Well, it's got the Alan's had the it was a '64 short Maestro tremolo. From what I've read and understood, he robbed it off of one of his Firebirds, probably the '64 Firebird 3. When he broke the headstock off of it, I think he probably robbed it off of that one and transplanted it onto the '58 that he bought, the '58 Explorer. And so it's got what's called a short Maestro Gibson tremolo with a Gibson teaspoon flat bar tremolo arm. And that's the technical terms for it. And I just got a factory set of Gibson PAFs, which is, like Craig said, patent applied for, that I'm going to swap into this guitar to be a little more detail accurate. Currently, right now, it's got a set of EMGs in it, but I'm going to swap them to the Gibson PAFs, and because those things are rare and they're hard to find, and they're very so I'm going to put a set of PAFs in it, and then, but outside of that, everything is pretty much to almost complete detail of Alan's. A lot of people like to argue that the current look of the Alan Collins '58, it's got a set of those ivory, ivory tune head tuners on it, where the tuner heads are like an ivory white looking color.
Right. Yeah.
I can't find those. That specific one. There's some that are like them, but they're not the exact ones. I couldn't find those, but I do know that his original had a set of they were like a kidney bean top tuners on it. And I don't know if they were Groves or if they were factory Gibsons. I don't know, but they were changed out probably sometime in the Rossington Collins band era, or maybe the Alan Collins band, when he was still using that guitar. The original tuning heads were swapped out to those ivory top tuners. So, but the one that I built is based off the 1976 Nebworth, the Nebworth Performance, or Life '77. That's what this one is based off of.
Well, I feel like right now there's people going, okay, Griff, ask the question, how do I get my $100 to Brandon Miller so I can get a chance to win this guitar? That's what they're waiting on. They're going, is he even going to ask the question? Yes, we're asking that question now. Brandon, how do you get the $100 from these people? Where do they send it? How do they get it to you?
Right now, I have two different forms. You can send it by check to my home address. You can contact me directly for that, or you can send it right now through either Cash App or Venmo, whichever way you choose to do it. But I am in the process right now of working on getting a certified GoFundMe page done for this. That way it can have one central location to donate. That way there's no confusion. It's probably the easiest thing for everybody, for everything to be donated in one place.
Is there a website, Brandon, that they can go to look at to get the information on your address to mail to?
There's no website. They can contact me directly through social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. I mean, you can message me at any time, send me a friend request. If you want my phone number, I'll give you that. I mean, it's not no problem.
Could you give I mean, I don't know how you feel about giving your address now or some contact information. What is it? What could you?
My address is 102 Wilson Road, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, 39402. And that's 102 Wilson Road, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, 39402. That's my home address. And so if you want to send $100, just let me know who you are and a way to contact you. If you do send it and you're on social media, shoot me a message and let me know, hey, I'm going to mail you a check. That way I know. That way I can account for you, and I will make sure that you get your ticket to enter the drawing for the guitar.
So will you mail them back the ticket when you receive the funds? You mail them a ticket to their address. Is that how it works?
It's their choice. Most everybody that has bought one, they just wanted me to take a picture of it and text it to them or send it to them on social media. That's what most of them preferred. I've offered to mail it, but nobody has. They're like, look, just take a picture of it and send it to me. I said, okay. So, but I'll be glad to mail it. However you want it done, I will make sure it happens. So
what about, so if a guy wants to, or a girl wants to send you $500, do they get 5 chances at that guitar?
That's right. Every $100 ticket.
And can ZACK even send you $100?
Anybody.
Already
ZACK, you already have your guitar, man. You don't need one.
ZACK, is that the SG my buddy Automotive bought off of you back there that y'all had in the studio?
Well, he's going to use this one in studio, hopefully. Anyway.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. That'd be cool. Yeah, he'd like that.
Automotive bought that guitar, did he?
Yeah.
Otto, he said he was going to buy dozens of those tickets.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, my buddy Automotive off of Facebook. That's his AKA.
And that's going to be the guitar that ZACK's using for Gary's parts. Correct, ZACK?
Possibly. We'll see because I'm not
that'd
sure.
be cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. It's possible. If not, it'll be
you have an SG, right? You've got one.
No, I don't actually.
You don't?
No, I have a SG copy, but it's not like a good SG. But if I don't use the SG, it'll definitely be a Les Paul, which, tonally there's not a whole lot of difference to my ear,
right?
So tomato essentially.
Hey, Brandon, let me ask you this. Okay, this is a question, because if you don't cover all the bases, these Skynyrd fans, man, they pick you apart. So that monument, someone might ask, how much does that cost? Okay. And then they might ask, how much money have you raised so far? And if you don't raise the full amount, then what happens?
The cost of the monument as of right now, and I've only been given quotes, it's going to be somewhere probably between $25,000 to $30,000. But that's subject to change depending on the month. But I am waiting on the contract to be done, because I got to get the examples first and choose which one I want to use before we do a certified contract. And but as soon as I get the cost of what the monument is, I will let everyone know. But my hope and prayer is that we, as long as we can raise enough money to pay for the monument, I'm willing to handle transportation and setup, because this has got to be done one way or another. It's just the main thing that I just need the help with is covering the cost of the monument. But my goal is, if we can raise the 50,000, that would be enough to cover everything that needs to be done. And if we have anything left over, my goal is, I would love to do a statue of Alan, but the problem is statues are like $100,000. I mean, it's insane what statues cost. You know, so but as of right now, that's my goal, is to try to raise 50,000 to cover everything, which based off my calculation, it's going to be right about what it's going to cost. Because transporting it's high. I got to bring in the construction company to build the foundation. Then I got to bring in a crane company to pick it up and set it. I mean, it's thousands and thousands of dollars to do all this. And plus the cost of inflation with how things are now out there in the world, it's even more expensive. So
are you saying that the money that's already been sent, there's not going to be any chance it's going to be sent back to anybody? This carving is going to happen, and you feel like you're going to get the full amount, or tell me, I mean, is there any chance that you're not going to raise the full amount?
There's always that risk, but I feel confident enough that the Skynyrd Nation will be supportive of this. The only kickback I've had on it, as far as deterring financial support, was wanting proof from the monument board that I had permission to do this and set it there. Then they wanted to see what it looked like, and then they wanted to see the contract between me and the monument company that's going to be building. That was the biggest thing that most people wanted to see. That's held them back from donating. So I've got the statement from the monument board. I'm waiting on the examples, and then once the examples are back, I can get the contract done. So once I have all three of those, I feel confident enough that the Skynyrd Nation, will help me accomplish this goal. But worst case scenario, if we only raise $5,000 or $10,000, then I'm just going to, naturally, I can't eat 40 grand. Or
right.
30 grand, so if we only raise $10,000 or $15,000, I'll have no choice but to refund it back, which is fine. I have everyone's name, address, whatever, so if by chance something like that does happen, naturally I'll have to give their money back. But my goal is, I feel confident enough that we could make this happen. But we'll see. That's to be determined. But like I said, most everybody has told me that as long as you got the proof that this was legit, it should happen. And plus, like I said, I'm gonna probably start a GoFundMe page to do this. That way, everybody can see what all is going on. There's nothing hidden. So that's probably going to be my next venture once I get the contract.
Well, all you Stoned Roadie show listeners, dig deep, man. That's a great chance at a guitar that is really an original build there. And I think, like Craig said, $10,000 guitar. That's $100, $100 for, and it's going to a great cause too. And Craig, so tell us, Craig has never been to the monument or the plane crash site. So and Brandon's going to have the drawing at the monument. Is that, or no, you're going to give it away at the monument, correct? Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to leave that option up to the winner. If the winner wants it, then I'll ship it to them. But my recommendation would be just to wait a few weeks till October 20th and come to the monument. That way they can meet Craig and everybody,
Yeah, so Craig's going to be there, right, Craig? You're going to be at the monument this coming October?
Yes, I am, for sure. I was going to go last year, but then I decided not to at the last minute just because I didn't want to get stuck down there on an airplane. But this year I'm going to drive down. But yeah, I will be there for sure.
And we've got kind of a thing that we're working on with Dwayne Easley. As a matter of fact, I got to call Dwayne this evening and have a chat with him about some stuff that we're hoping to get some plane crash survivors, as many as we can there. And there's a kind of a special thing we're working on. And this is going to be in me and Craig's secret. Everybody else has a secret, so me and Craig needs to have a secret, don't we, Craig? but we'll probably spill the beans because we like spilling the beans. We can't keep our mouth shut on our own secret even. But yeah, so
Oh
you
yeah,
guys,
yeah. I forgot what you were talking about. I was trying to think. Oh yeah, yeah. That's gonna be very interesting. I'm looking
yeah, oh
forward to
yeah.
that tremendously.
Yeah, we're hoping to get, like Mark Howard, Mark Frank, and Kenny Peden, a lot of these guys that were on the plane. But there's a little something that we're wanting to do. And I
Yeah,
got to call Dwayne
Kenny
Easy.
and Mark. I don't know. Kenny and Mark, they were with Artemis, and yeah, we're gonna try to walk that walk. We're not gonna be able to do it on that day, but I plan on being there. Anybody want to go early? I plan on being there a couple days before and a couple days after. So I plan on spending a week down there. So anybody that comes down, look me up. There's been a lot of people say they wanted to meet me and stuff, and I'm,
Yeah, and don't worry if you're fat, because in person, Craig don't pick on you when he sees that you're fat. Like, I just went to his house and I'm not as skinny as Craig, and he didn't say a word about me being fat. So,
You're not fat. You're not that.
so don't
Man,
worry about it.
I just like to see people get healthier. Well, I mean, we're in an obesity epidemic, and nobody wants to recognize it. But yeah, just type in obesity in a Google search, and it'll tell you, yeah, about
And if
7
you
out of 10
were
of you are fat.
if you were once fat yourself, you have a right to talk about fat.
Yeah, I lost 80 pounds. I mean, I lost control. That was a part of my life. I was drinking and doing stuff and just wasn't paying attention. I gained 80 pounds. It happens.
Yeah, I had a bad
But
year myself. I was up like around 200 pounds, man, and I was like sipping a lot of golden nectar.
Hey, I tell you what, I actually need to gain some weight. It's my issue. I'm too skinny.
Well, you got to keep that Gary Rossington image, man. Gary, I don't think Gary was ever heavy. He's still pretty slim to this
Back in
day.
their young days, they couldn't afford to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made Zach go get those glasses and put them on. He's not trying to be cool. I made him go get those glasses, and then he put them on, and I couldn't believe they looked just like the glasses Gary's wearing. So that turned out pretty good. And then I always said Brandon looks like Ronnie. I mean, he's the closest Ronnie look-alike I think I've ever seen. And, he's not even trying to look like Ronnie. He just wants to play, Lynyrd Skynyrd music, man. And be able to sing Ronnie's parts, but he's not trying to be just looking like Ronnie, just coincidence. But, yeah, so, thanks for all that information, Brandon. That's great. And Zach, man, we're looking forward to hearing your Gary slide, and Brandon that Freebird solo, man. I can't wait to hear it. I think it's going to be pretty awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play in person. So that's another thing. That's a great thing to look forward to.
That's something out when me and him were playing this solo together. When Steve and Alan come in together doing that dun 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 dun, everyone knows Freebird knows the lick I'm talking about.
Right, yeah.
Me and him nailed that. We'd never played together before, but me and him nailed that. It was like we've been playing together like Steve and Alan. I mean, it was
just one take? Just one take? Cool.
And it was I was blown away at how well me and him we played together. And then once we finished it up, we both looked at each other. We were like, I think we're on to something, and I want to point out to Zach again, I cannot stress to you Skinner Nation fans, when y'all hear this version of Freebird, don't just listen to my Allen parts, okay? Listen to his parts that he recreated of Steve Gaines. Listen to the original and then listen to ours. I really think you're going to go, holy shit. Like, that kid really, really dug in deep. to really capture everything that Steve did on that performance. I cannot stress that enough.
You said the Steve Gaines was a little, you said it was a little like hard to hear because he hadn't been playing with him. So this is going to be kind of like a cleaned up version, maybe.
Exactly.
Cool.
It's going to be a kind of that performance done justice,
Remastered.
Exactly. And, it kind of sucks that you couldn't hear Steve's parts as well because they were so good, and it's not just the speed, it's not just that, but it's also, the way he played licks were not quite Ed King different, but they were different, different than my personal playing style. And plus, on top of, I had been playing Alan's parts for 2 years straight, Alan's parts, and then having to switch over to do Steve's parts might have been the hardest thing, about it, really, was making the switch over, hearing parts that I'd never paid attention to before, but also hearing Alan on this side, and I'm wanting to play Alan's parts, but I'm trying to play Steve's parts. So it was like pulling me all over the place. But I eventually, I found a way to isolate his guitar parts because they have it panned, because they have it one speaker and one in the other. So I was able to isolate that part and to really pick it apart,
Yeah. If you're listening to Freebird Live at the Fox, Alan, if you're listening, if the speakers are coming at you, Alan is on the left.
Yeah.
Steve right.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're nerds like that, people. We're nerds. Okay.
Oh, you even got that dialed in, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And and there is a live crowd. There's a live crowd throughout the entire performance. The only thing that probably will be missing for you Skynyrd fans out there, I know one of you is going to point this out, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up now.
Yeah, you better think of everything, man.
Yeah. When you hear our version, if you listen to Live at the Fox, there's an air horn on 2 different spots during the live solo. Does that twice. Okay. Somebody in the crowd had an air horn. I'm going to try to capture that if I can, but I cannot promise you. So one of you suckers out there that wants to point that out, I'll go ahead and stop it right now. That may not be featured on this version, but everything else.
That reminds me of that Elton John song, Benny and the Jets.
Yeah.
There's one guy that whistled in that song, and I'm sure, he could be famous if he just came forward because like that's part of that whole damn song is that one whistle in Benny and the Jets with Elton John.
Right.
But let me ask you this question, Brandon, back to the monument. If somebody wanted to send you some money just as a donation, is that cool?
Yeah. If you just want to donate and you want to be anonymous, no name, mention nothing, if you tell me, you're going to send $1,000, but you don't want tickets to the guitar, that's perfectly fine. Every bit the money that's being donated is strictly for the monument. It's not for the guitar. So if you don't want a ticket for it, you don't have to. But in my opinion, if you're going to donate to something, you got a chance to win something as a thank you, might as well. So
who would like to have that guitar? Oh my
Exactly.
God.
Yeah.
That's a one of a kind.
Yeah, maybe we can get Craig to put some strings on it and tune it.
Yeah, that's right.
And and then it could be said that Craig strung and tuned it. Now, how cool is that? Right?
I'd have to put Dean Markley's on it. That's what
exactly. That's what I was about to say. You got to put those.
They still make those strings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I would say one thing I do want to point out real quick. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on here, but I want to go and mention this while we're here. I do want to throw a special thank you publicly to our producer, Kent Wells of Dolly Parton, to Mr. Dane Bryant of Clint Black, Mr. Jack, Jack Charlie Daniels Band, and to our co-producer / bass player or Leon Wilkinson on Freebird, Mr. Dave Fowler, who plays bass for the Artemis Pile Band. who I toured with back in October. And he also plays bass for Dolly Parton and several other big time artists doing session work. So I want to give a special thank you to those 4 men for helping us to make this even happen, because without them, me and Zach would have been pissing in the wind. So I give a special public thank you to them for working with us the way that they did. So
yeah, and just to be clear, you guys, this is a lot of this is donation stuff. This whole recording, like he said, he's not getting royalties off of it, and it's all about the music. And I think anybody that knew Ronnie and was around Ronnie, I'm sure they appreciate that, like Judy and Gary and all the people, even ARTIMUS, I think that's really an awesome thing. Craig, you got anything else? Craig's on the phone. I'm going to go ahead and say something here about our subscribers. Craig, we need to get you guys to hit that subscribe button, and to kind of help it along, I've got 10 of these Hell House stickers that are signed by Craig and Gene Odom, and I'll sign on the tree because I painted it. But I'm going to send 10 of these stickers out randomly to people that have commented on YouTube. I'm going to pick you out of the comments on some of the podcasts, and I'm going to get in touch with you. Maybe it's a reply, but I'm going to send out 10 of these tickets. If you are subscribed on our channel, on Craig's channel, on the Craig Reed podcast, you have a chance to get one of these stickers signed by Craig Reed and Gene Odom. Both of them, worked for Lynyrd Skynyrd back in the day, and they were both on the plane when it went down. And I'll mail this sticker out to 10 of you folks, 10 of you subscribers. So hit that subscribe button. I'm going to wait about a week before I do it. And that's a chance for a little interaction with some of the podcast listeners. Craig, you got anything else?
Well, yeah, we've got we're trying to get to 1,000 subscriptions, and we've got like 837, I think. And it isn't bad. That from what I was exploring when we first started doing this, they said it'll take you a year to get 1,000 subscribers. So we're doing pretty good. We still got a few months to go before we're at a year, and we're 837. So we just need 160 subscribers, and we'll be over 1,000. And then what that does is Google puts us on another algorithm. When 1,000 is the magic number. So we just need 160 subscribers, and we can bump up our algorithm, and then Google shows it to more people, because we're down there in the whatever section, but
and the rookie section.
1,000 will get us up to on another level. So then we'll have a lot more people looking at us, and then we can raise higher. And like when we started out doing this, I had no idea I was going to be doing a podcast this time last year. It was the furthest thing from my mind, but somebody wanted me to do a podcast on Zoom, and I kind of intrigued me. And then I got the equipment, and then they got sick, and I had this equipment, and Griff said, well, why don't you let me, why don't we do a podcast? And I got people asking me questions because they know I know you, and we could just, so we started throwing up the idea, and then we started doing these podcasts, and people seem to like them. I don't know. I don't know what kind of stories y'all have heard about me, but they must have been some good ones, because I get all these people thinking I'm some kind of a legend in rock and roll, and it humbles me. I mean, and I really am serious about doing these things and sharing everything. I can remember about what I did. It was a long time ago, and I got my head bashed in that airplane, so I do have a little bit of memory loss. But I really do take this serious, trying to get information out there. And Griff and I, we do question and answer periods, and they go on for a long time, and people, I don't know, I guess people in their car these days can listen to these things, and it beats listen to a regular broadcast, whatever being out there. I guess I don't know. I have a lot of truck drivers tell me they listen to me to the Stone Roadie show while they're driving. And Kathy Keeble, she travels around a lot, and she said that's what she does. And people say this is their most favorite podcast they watch, and I know I appreciate it, and I go, Griff appreciates it. And we put it in, we've done, like I said, this is our 57th one. And then, gosh almighty knows, we said, well, if we get to 12 of them, we'll kind of maybe figure out what we're doing. And then that guy, Mr. Beast, says, once you do 100, come to me and ask me some questions, because that takes that many before you figure this out. And yeah, every time we do one, we're trying to improve. Like I put my monitor up there, so I can't see. I'm looking forward here, so this is a little odd to me. I didn't think about that when I was putting this together. But yeah, that group, the Ronnie and Gary looking in my window up there, that was my first kind of vision for this green screen thing. And I put those panels in my window, those green panels, and people said, that won't work. You got to have a solid screen. So I went and got that other screen, and the other day I was playing around with this thing, and I had that panel in there, and it was showing up. I goes, dang, that works. So I put them all in there. It's pretty cool.
You got Ronnie and Gary looking through the window,
Yeah, I can put a beach scene. I can put anything I can take a picture of. I can stick up in there. I want to get the Indians while they're raiding a wagon train, and they're circling the wagons, and like they're shooting arrows in through the window. But when I started, I had lions looking in at me and stuff, and Griff said, I thought you were going to have the band looking in at you. So that's the deal with that. But yeah, I got to get me a monitor here in the front so I don't have to look up there to see them. I kind of spaced out. I just put this together last night. But anyways, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I guess anybody
hold
got
on, one more thing, Craig. You ain't getting away yet. Tomorrow is Craig's birthday. So all you listeners, for Craig's birthday, go on and subscribe. And
for my birthday.
How many people appreciate Craig Reed? If we see the subscriber number go up, then we're going to know, okay, those people appreciate Craig and what he's doing. And bringing these guys on here like ZACK and Brandon, that's some skin formation. Like Mike Estes says, this is a lot of skin formation here. This stuff that Craig does as far as his podcast. And I think it's really an awesome tribute to the Lynyrd Skynyrd band. So you guys hit that subscribe and like. And I don't know how, and maybe it's going to change now since I'm saying it, but we haven't even gotten one unlike thumbs down yet, have we, Craig?
No, we haven't. And ZACK, he's part of the new generation that's listening to Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's amazing that somebody could live for a long 15 or so years and never heard Lynyrd Skynyrd, but there's a lot of young people that are starting to listen to Lynyrd Skynyrd. And like ZACK said a couple of podcasts ago, around his area, that there was no guitar players. Him and a couple other guys played, and nobody's really into trying to learn how to play guitar these days. All these newfangled machines they got going on. You can just about create stuff with a computer, and nobody's really learning the art of playing guitar anymore. It's kind of amazing. But yeah, he started a new generation, and so is Brandon. You know, Brandon's just a kid too. You know, he as far as I'm concerned, I'll be 72 years old tomorrow. You know, we just double my age and subscriptions, we'll be to that golden number of 1,000. So anyway, so what else you got going on, Griff?
Well, just you guys be ready. I'm working on the Muscle Shoals thing. I'm trying to get in touch with Ronnies on a date. I haven't forgotten. I want to go back to Jacksonville and find the right place where Alan had his accident that paralyzed him. We're going to go there. I'm gonna find that place and bring that to you on the road with Griff Martin. And on the road with Griff Martin, we're going to do that Muscle Shoals. And there's going to be plenty of those things coming up too. So we're even going to have a theme song, aren't we, Craig, that Mike Estes
Oh
wrote?
yeah, he introduced it last week. He kind of gave us a little taste of that, you know. Yeah. The Stone Roadie show, all the things that you Skinners want to know at the Stone Roadie show.
All the skin information you need to know.
All this skin information. That's it. All the skin information you want to know, you'll hear it in the Stone Roadie show.
I'd like to say something real quick to both of you guys. You, Griff and Craig, both. I've noticed that, in the past few podcasts, ever since I've been on, pretty much every podcast since I've been on, you guys have mentioned me and Brandon. And, I can say for myself, and I can probably speak for Brandon too, that we both really, really appreciate that. We appreciate the push that you guys are giving us, and, the faith, and we appreciate that big time.
We want a stage pass, man. Once you guys get famous, that's why we do it.
You'll get it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you playing some shows up here in Ohio. You got to be get close to me up in Cleveland. Yeah. I'm near the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You got to play near Cleveland somewhere.
Yeah. All right, Craig, I guess we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate you guys coming on, and we're going to get you back. And, if you guys need to come back and bring us some more information about what you're doing, just let us know. Stay in touch with you. And you guys hit that subscribe button. Like I said, there's going to be 10 people getting some stickers from me. And then happy birthday, Craig. And happy
birthday, Craig.
I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and see if I can't see my shadow.
I will say one thing.
Since I quit drinking, I can actually get up in the morning. I usually get up before the sun comes up. Then I go lay down with the dogs until the sun comes up. But anyways, anybody ain't got anything else to say?
I would say I did, when I looked at doing this song, Freebird, I did reach out to Judy directly and talk with her via text, and then Chad Reed, Craig's son, reached out to her as well, and she pretty much gave me a thumbs up. So I didn't get a call and and told no, cease and desist or anything like that. So she pretty much gave me a thumbs up on it. So I'm gonna make sure that she hears it as soon as it's out, and I appreciate her talking with me about it via text. So
that's pretty awesome, man. Anybody that has any good information about Lynyrd Skynyrd, that knew the guys, that has a real cool story or anything like that. Now, I said that one time before, and I got some emails from some people, I sold Ronnie a pair of shoes one time, not anything like that. We want something cool, and we'll bring you on and we'll talk about it. There's a lot of things that happened surrounding that band, and And, if you've got like anything that's cool that has anything to do with any of those guys in the band, and bring it to us. Send me an email, edwg59@gmail, and I'll take a look at it. And if it's cool, we'll get you on here, right, Craig?
Yeah, that's right. Tommy George, what happened to you? You said you wanted to come on the Stone Roadie show, and then I could text you and you asked you if you wanted to come on, and I think you got stage fright or something. You and Gary were really tight and running around a lot there during the Rossington Collins band. You were only one of the guys that had a key to the place, and you was up there pumping out the septic tank, and I was out there running around on that go-kart and forgot you pumping septic out on the thing and was running through it. That's when I went out on the street and the cops got me, and I'd been drinking, and I was out there on the road with a go-kart.
I haven't heard that story before. See, I think
yeah. Tommy was down there. Tommy used to go, he's a fisherman, man. He'd come up and with that mahi and dolphin and all that stuff and cook it out. Man, that was some good fish. But yeah, Tommy, get it together. Get your. He says he's a caveman and he don't know how to operate anything and stuff. You got a daughter, have her get you on the Stone Roadie show. Okay. Anybody got anything else?
Zach, you got anything else you want to say, brother?
Nope.
That's it, Greg.
Well, I'll say one more thing. As far as Freebird goes, like I said, what me and Zach have done has never been recreated. So I'm really looking forward to Skynyrd Nation hearing what we've done in honor and respect and tribute to Ronnie and Alan, Gary, Bob, Artimus, Billy, Leon, Cassie Gaines, JoJo, all of them, and even Miss Leslie, she's still with us. All of this is in pure respect and honor to all of you. So I really look forward to them and the Skynyrd Nation hearing this. And I definitely want Gary to hear this. I want Gary to hear that.
Yeah. Brandon, what's your email just before we get off of here? What's your email in case people want to get a hold of you?
Sure. It's RROCKER, like R Rocker 54 at iCloud, Apple iCloud.com, ICLOUD.com, RRocker54 at iCloud.com.
Okay, we appreciate that. All right, Craig, I guess we're ready to wrap it up.
All righty then. Here we go. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Happy trails to y'all, and may the good Lord take a liking to you. And that's a wrap. Goodbye.
We'll see